Inbauer and Reid specified 9 steps in a successful interrogation, and the process should begin by the suspect experiencing custody and isolation. That is, being kept in a small room and left to experience the anxiety, insecurity and uncertainty associated with police interrogation. The first formal step is confrontation, where the goal is to present evidence of the suspect's involvement in the crime. This evidence might be real or it might be fictional. The accusation of guilt might be repeated, and if there is no denial, then the suspect is actually considered to be deceptive. Now, in the second step of the 9 steps is psychological theme development, and how this proceeds depends on the emotionality of the suspect at this stage. For an emotional suspect, the interrogator would use minimization. That is, they would provide a moral or face-saving excuse for the crime. For example, the interrogator of a suspect in a case of rape might say, "No woman should be on the street alone looking like that. That's too much temptation for any man." Note that throughout this, the assumption is always that the suspect who listens attentively to these excuses is guilty. For the suspect who is unemotional at this stage, the aim at this point is a little bit different. As an interrogator, what you want to get here is an admission of lying about some aspect of the crime. Then you can use the fact that the suspect has lied once to suggest that they are lying about their innocence. By emphasising the seriousness of the offence and exaggerating the charges, a maximisation approach might be used in an attempt to scare or intimidate the suspect into confessing. The third step, interrupting all statement of denials, aims to end the suspect's repetition of their denial of guilt. And this should actually result in a change of tactic by a guilty suspect. They might provide additional reasons why they couldn't have committed the crime, for example by claiming they didn't have a gun so they couldn't have done it. It's assumed that innocent suspects, on the other hand, will not allow their denials to be cut off. The fourth step is overcoming objections to the charges. Guilty suspects will raise objections, and the aim of the interrogator is to overcome these by showing understanding but returning to theme development. Once the suspect sees that their objections are ineffective, they should become uncertain and withdraw. Innocent suspects should simply continue with their denials. Step 5 is to retain the suspect's attention. Once the suspect has withdrawn, the interrogator should try and reduce the physical distance between themselves and the suspect. And the 6th step actually involves urging the suspect to tell the truth by showing sympathy and understanding to them. The interrogator should attempt to focus the suspect's mind on possible reasons for committing the offence and try and create a remorseful mood. The 7th step is about creating an opportunity to confess by providing an explanation or excuse for the crime. The interrogator might pose an either-or question such as, "Was it your own idea or did someone talk you into it?" The final 2 steps encourage the suspect to recount the details of the crime as part of confession and then convert that confession into a written statement. Inbauer and colleagues have claimed on the basis of their research that this technique is effective. So why might such an approach work? Well, the effectiveness of the method can be explained by theories of attitude change. The positivity or negativity of an attitude towards confessing is related to the relative perceptions of the positive and negative aspects of confessing. The aim of interrogation using this approach is to get the suspect to think more positively about confessing and to eliminate any negative consequences of admitting guilt. And the way this is done is by giving the suspect the impression that denial will also lead to conviction, and also to imply that more lenient consequences will follow if the suspect actually confesses. So a suspect's willingness to confess increases as their attitude to confessing becomes more positive. And the problem is that this works for both guilty and innocent suspects alike.